Hello, this is Jim Bradley again, and this is the second tutorial in a series on sorting data with Python. In this session, I'll take a look at sorting lists with elements that are slightly more complex, in particular where the elements are tuples rather than numerical values. The technique that we will be using applies also to the situation where the list elements are lists rather than tuples. So in this tutorial, the slightly more complex list structure that I'm going to use is one that I'll paste into the console window right now. It's called list2, and it's a list of tuples, and each one of the tuples has two members. They're each a two tuple, and we can sort lists of tuples quite easily, and in fact we can do it using the same method that we talked about in the prior tutorial. So first let's check that list2 does indeed have the contents that we think it should, and it does. So let's just use the sort method on list2 that is. And so we type list2 dot sort, no parameters for this example, and we'll just type return. And so let's take a look at list2. And you'll see that list2 is done in a different order, as we might have expected. And you'll see that how it was sorted is based on the first or the 0th element of the list. For example, 0 is the 0th element of the first tuple, 1 is the 0th element of the second tuple, and 2 is the 0th element of the third tuple. So you'll see that the tuples were sorted by default in terms of the 0th element within each one of them. And we can use the sort method for list of lists rather than a list of tuples, and the same type of thing will happen. It will take the very first element within whatever data structure you have, and it'll sort based on that. Well, if we wanted to, it turns out we can also sort, in this case, on the second element, which using Python indices is element 1. In other words, we can sort on the 9, the 8, and the 7. And in order to do that, we need to import a package that's called operator. And so I'll type import operator and return. And that gives us a little different functionality. And how we're going to use this is to again use the list2 dot sort method, but we're going to give sort a parameter that tells it which of the elements of each one of the elements within the list we want to sort on, and whether we want to sort, for example, on the 0th element of the tuples or the first element of the tuples. And how we're going to do that is by giving sort a parameter called key, which is basically telling it which data to perform the sort on. And then we're going to use the operator package and a method or an object within it that's called itemgetter that tells sort which element in these tuples it wants to sort on. And if we wanted to sort on the second element of each one of those tuples, the one with the Python index 1, then we'll just tell itemgetter to sort on index 1, close parentheses for itemgetter, close parentheses for the sort method, and we will hit return. And let's take a look at what happened to list2. And as we wanted, now the tuples are sorted in ascending order by the element in the tuples with the index 1. And of course, if we wanted to, we could use the reverse parameter. So we could type list2 sort key equals item getter 1. We'll use index 1 again to sort, but this time we'll sort in reverse order. And so we'll hit return, and it looks like I have a syntax error. And of course, I forgot to type operator, so let's do that again. And we take a look at list 2, and we'll see that we put the tuples back in the original order, at least the prior order, where they were in descending order by the second element in each one of the tuples, or again, the element that has the index 1. So that's how we would use item getter. And just one more example, if we want to, for example, sort by the element that appears first in the tuples, then we're going to use key equals operator.itemgetter, and the first element that appears has the index 0, so we'll use 0, and they're already in ascending order of that first element, so let's do something that's going to change the order. So let's type reverse equals true. And if we take a look at list 2, we did indeed sort the tuples by the 0th element in descending order.